Welcome to a new episode of Hej Member, the podcast of the Swedish-Polish Chamber of Commerce. Today I'm having the pleasure of sitting down with Bartosz Pastuszka, who is the CEO and founder of NaviRisk. NaviRisk is one of our strategic partners in the chamber, and Bartosz has a background and is an expert both as an entrepreneur and as an expert in risk management and security. I'm very, very happy to sit down with Bartosz here today and speak about these topics. Bartosz has, through his career, built companies. He built his own company that he sold in 1999 to Pinkerton, which is now part of the Securitas group, the Swedish company. He then developed that company within Central Eastern Europe. And after that, he founded and built up his company NaviRisk, which is an expert in risk management and security. And not only in Poland, but on an international basis with offices in Poland, Scandinavia, Ukraine, and in countries throughout Europe. The mission is simple: to help companies to secure their growth in a secure way. So I'm very happy to welcome you, Bartosz, to the show, and happy to have this conversation with you.
Tak, Fredrik. Thank you very much, and welcome everybody.
Right. I think the security area is something that's quite exciting, and I think many people are very interested in this topic, and I think many of us are a little bit naive also when it comes to the details of security. So there are many ways that we could go from here. I would like to start a little bit on a high level, talking about the cooperations between Poland and Sweden in particular, and from a security perspective. How do you view on that cooperation?
Crucial thing is that Sweden joined to the NATO, so we are now in the partner. We are partner, and we are almost two strongest partners on the Baltic Sea. So it's also crucial. So we have very strong interest to secure our environment, our business, people in the Baltic Sea. So we can say first point was to join Sweden to the NATO. The second was that Poland already started with Poland about the strategical discussion on the level of the security, of the level of how improve our economy and improve our, we can say, business together. Because for many years we have many interests, like a Nord Stream, which we never developed. We never discussed this on the political level and also the business level. So last year we have a summit, Polish-Swedish summit, where the experts discuss about the security, cyber security, our economy, and potential how we can develop. The results of this summit discussion was, we can say, join big governmental also business project, which is submarines for our army. So we can together, we can say, we can build quite big projects for the, we can say, on the political and security level, but also which impact to grow also our economy. So security and business development between Poland and Sweden now is, in my opinion, on the headlines.
Yeah. So what has practically changed after the war in Ukraine started and Sweden joined the NATO for companies?
I think everything was changed because nobody expect that we will be, we can say, live in extremely difficult times where the geopolitical situation will change extremely and rapidly. And it's so fast. We can say every day we have many news, for example, Greenland or any others, which are extremely stressed normal people, but also the business, sanctions, new embargoes. I have the feeling that we can say now the time is very challenging for the people, but also for the business. We have to change, we can say, our economy, where we can, in the past, we can predict or make a prognosis for the next 10 years. Now it's difficult to make a prognosis and for the 1 year or a couple months because the situation is extremely flexible and changing a lot. I think that this time is it's changed a philosophy also in Sweden and also in Poland. And also we find a way how we can cooperate together on the field of security and also of the economy, and also to find some kind of together bridge how we can improve situation in Ukraine. Yeah. Sweden is involved in the support of Ukraine. Poland, as a natural logistic hub, improved this system. For example, a contract for the Gripen airplanes will be supported by the Polish with the logistic to the Ukrainians. So there is, of course, as many people say, the war and difficult time is also a good time for the business. But this business is very difficult, and if we will be flexible, if we find a good way how we can build some synergy between economy in Sweden and also in Poland, I think that we can develop a lot and be a strategical partner, especially in the Baltic Sea area.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with you that the changed security situation is both a challenge and it can also be opportunity for some. And do you see when companies are making their decisions that they're seeing the security as a real decision factor for their international business?
I think it's crucial, and generally from my experience, Sweden always security and safety is in your, we can say, DNA of the business. So it's fundamental to be, we can say, very careful if you are choosing your partners. The trust you need at time and many situations to build a strong bond between the partners and partnerships. So from the philosophy of Sweden, yes, you are natural. I think this is the way where in Sweden you can build, even it was not extremely big a country, you build a lot of international companies. Because you always, when you start the business, you are thinking, okay, we have to go abroad. But also from many years of your economy, you build a very strong environment and security and safety of the business aspect. In Poland, you know, we start our, we can say, independence in the 90s, so we don't have enough time. The culture of the, we can say, post-Soviet country is also a little different, so we are still learning how we can implement. It was good because many people, they start studying on the international universities, so they go abroad. Many Polish managers also get experience in the international companies. So it was natural that they also implement. But in my feeling, still, typical Polish entrepreneur is more enthusiastic than the pragmatic in making the business. So still we have to make about the Polish economy and Polish business environment. We still need to learn a lot from the Swedish entrepreneurs.
Okay, we can learn from each other, probably.
Yes, of course, from many aspects,
yeah.
but from the typical aspects of the, we can say, compliance, security, Sweden is a good benchmark for us.
Yeah. And NaviRisk, I know that the company is older than just the last few years. So the company was founded before Sweden joined the NATO and certainly before the war in Ukraine. What was the reason and the rationale of founding NaviRisk, and what gap in the market did you see that you could cover?
It was natural development of my story because I set up company, IBBC Group, in 2004 when the Poland joined with the European Union. It was a time when the Poland was open for the international investors and they are looking, especially we can say, a lot of information. If they want to choose a partner, if they want to buy a company, they need the information. It was natural that they want to make background checks, due diligences, and we find some kind of niche in this market. So we provide information from the UK, Ireland, Swedish companies, which they trying to find a strategical partner in Poland or may buy something like a properties or a new companies. So we was typical natural partner for them to support decision-making process. But we also develop, we can say, our investigation and crisis management competence because the client says, okay, guys, we have a problems. We invest the company and we find some difficulties. For example, all contract was, we can say, cancelled and signed with another company. Or we find that their company has some kind of tax problems. And they need to, investigate the problem. They need to find a proof to go to the court. And also we can say in 2010, we find a strategical partnership with company Secredo. It was two amazing guys from Sweden, Lars-Göran Nilsson, guy from the top Swedish insurance companies, and Peter Jonsson, very known crisis management and traumatologist from Sweden. And they say, Bartosz, we get good recommendation about you. We support many, we can say, Swedish companies in general in Central East Europe, and we are looking for the strategical partner. And in 2010, we signed a joint venture project, and we start working for the Swedish business in Central East Europe. After that, when we built this relation, Pinkerton was bought by Securitas, because Alf Goransson, the previous CEO of Securitas, has a concept that there is no more time for the only selling the hours of the guards, and security is not only a cameras, you can say, and typical technical aspects. So they need some kind of brain aspects in the company. So in this time, I remember the Securitas bought Pinkerton and about the 20 another consulting companies around Europe, because they want to find a strong presence on the local market, but with the global umbrella. So we developed, we can say, together with the Peter Jonsson and Lars-Göran Nilsson, the project called Greenhouse, to develop, we can say, the typical consulting competence to entrepreneurs in Sweden, generally in Europe, under umbrella of Securitas. After that, we can say we finalized the contract, so it was, typical, very slow step-by-step takeover of the company. In 2016, I sell the rest of my shares, and I become a director for the Central East Europe in Pinkerton. So I was responsible for the all operation in Pinkerton in Central East Europe. When I fulfilled my contract in 2018, I decided, okay, it's now time for the new challenge, and we set up a NaviRisk. The company is now based in Sweden, in Poland, in Latvia, Ukraine, and Czech Republic. So we concentrate in the north and east side and central side of the Europe. We support our clients with typical investigations, crisis management, but also we develop a lot of in the cyber. Cyber is a crucial now, the aspects. From many years we have some typical, we can say, frauds, where somebody stole something, cargo trucks or any others. Now we can say, my feeling is now 80% of the frauds is going to the cyber. So NaviRisk was typical consequence of my experience and also relation with the other partners with whom I'm also building the NaviRisk. And we also develop East Shield Capital Fund. So we invest in the very small, we can say, area of for the projects in defense, cybersecurity, and security startup and seed companies.
Okay, that's very interesting. And you have a very, very strong focus on the Swedish market, and you're a strategic partner of the chamber. And what type of challenges do maybe both Polish companies and Swedish companies come to you with today, or what do they most often bring to you today?
No, generally, there is one of the tendencies which we see after the COVID, because before the COVID, we travel a lot. We meet our, we can say, subsidiary companies. We meet our boards in Poland, Ukraine, Czechia, or other countries, and it was natural that we see what is going on in the company. We talk with the people. We have occasion to discuss also not on the top managers, but also on the middle level staff. After the COVID, we stop traveling. We start believing. We can say meet on Zoom or Teams meetings. Everything was fine, especially that Poland has a very nice time of the growing. So, compared to some results in Sweden or sometimes in Germany, the Polish subsidiary always was on the green color. So it was they always present some kind of development. But we see now that, lack of some strong mechanism of the controlling, not visiting and auditing the company and subsidiary company, create, we can say, some space for the people which try to find some kickback system. For example, if headquarters in Sweden, in Germany or in France expects only 5% of the growth, but our company has a 15% of the growth, okay, maybe there is a solution to find some kickback system. So some managers try to find hire, take a typical kickback system for the subcontractors, try to put some profits to the related companies. So we see now, especially when the European Union obliged the typical whistleblower system in the companies, we see that in the COVID, some subsidiaries company create a typical kickback systems, and now, due to some kind of tips from the whistleblowing systems, some middle level starts talking that our CEO or our board they are in the corruption systems. So I have the feeling that we can avoid this situation when the controls after the COVID will get back to the previous time, and we have more, we can say, restricted audits and verification, some also visiting methodology of our subsidiary companies, and now we have a lot of this kind of situation where we get the tips for the whistleblower, the headquarters and owners, they cannot believe, okay, they realize our, we can say, prognosis and our expectation, but it could be much more, but some kind of funny guys find a way to take some bonus in the kickback system and corruption.
Yeah. So now, when it comes to frauds, is this the most frequent type of fraud that you encounter? And are there specific, when it comes to cross-border or international, big or international organizations, are there any specific schemes that are very common?
Yes, we can say the internal frauds are extremely common. Mm-hmm. People, they want to find a solution for the easy money. If there is a space and people, they have the feeling that nobody controls them, always there is some kind of chance that they will find solution to increase some, to find the money which they can in the short way they can put in the pocket. So internal frauds is typical standard. Now there is a lot of organized crimes also which impact the business. Couple years ago, organized crimes, it was typical mafia guy, which try to steal something. They can, make some kind of kidnapping or trying to, take money from the business in a very aggressive way. Now is a little change. There is a lot of organized crime, for example, from the gambling industry, or some, traders in the drugs, which they are looking opportunity, for example, invest your company or involve you for their some of schemes of the companies. So I think that we are living now in the double world, because now the compliance is amazing, because every month I get from my bank some list of our, we can say, transfer wires, for example, on the east side of Ukraine, to Dubai, to Jordan, when I have to put a lot of information like agreement or even the reports which we receive for our subcontractors to be compliant. And we pay, a couple €1,000 for them. It's not a big volume. But for example, cryptocurrency now, there's a huge space for transferring, for example, money from Russia to European Union. The people, they are always trying to find. We have many companies which are called IT or new technology companies operated in Europe, in Sweden, in Poland and others, which are make, we can say, cyber attacks for the big banks or big corporation. But they are, we can say, officially some IT companies, which even get a support from Safe Harbor program from the Belarusia and supported by the Polish government. So there is a lot of new, we can say, new and technological organized crimes. For example, everybody from us get a call or find some advertisement on Facebook or in YouTube that Robert Lewandowski invite you to buy shares of the Orlen. And if you put, yes, you are interested, there's some kind of call centers from Ukraine, they are trying, okay, pay us 500 euro and we will give you some, 50% of profits. And many people, they say, okay, 500 euros, yes, okay. And they get access for the virtual wallet, and they see, okay, we earn 50% in 1 month. Okay, we will pay you more. And this is typical, we can say, huge scam of the, we can say, some call centers from the organized crimes, which operate in Poland, Czechia, and other countries, and they are located in Ukraine or sometimes in Russia. And this is, something which impact our economy, because of course we can say that stupid people, they still believe, but 100,000 people in Poland, in Czechia, in Sweden, they send sometimes all spendings of their life in these kind of scams. So it shows that organized crime and we can say external aspects and very high satisfied methodology which they are using at the moment, they can impact every of us.
Yeah, certainly. Not only individuals, but high-level executives as well, certainly. And if you look at Polish and Swedish companies, can you see a difference, or are there some differences on how they, what approach they have to security and risk management?
I think, if I will compare, it's natural that when we work for we can say for the Swedish clients, they know that they need a partner for the difficult situation. There is some kind of philosophy which I was learned from my Swedish partners. They say, Bartosz, every high level of manager or owner of the company, always in the morning he's a little stressed. What will happen? What is not connected to develop my business? My employees give me information that he want to fire, and he has strategical information. The question, maybe he's going to the competition. They pay him much more only to get some strategical information. I get some strange email, or I get some our whistleblowing system gets some strange information. This is true or not true? I have to verify. So I need to spend a lot of time to verify this information. So typical Swedish entrepreneurs, he knows and he has some kind of trusted partner which they provide to him solution. They will say, okay, you have some, for example, you catch the cold and you need a vitamin C, or no, you have a serious cancer, and tomorrow we will bring on the board some oncologists, anesthesiologists, and we will make operation, because we have to fire your CEO in Poland because he stole your money or he was involved in corruption. So this is typical Swedish. In Poland, still we are trying to cover something. Okay, we'll do all the best. For example, still we have problems with our courts. For example, typical we can say business case in the court is almost 3-4 years. And you cannot be sure that you will win if the case is complicated and you, for example, don't have enough proofs. And also judge should be, we can say, also very experienced. And if you have a fraud in the cyber security, and for example, your employees was also involved, so your employees, was paid and get access to your network for the cyber crimes, because this is very common. I don't believe that this is, some coincidences. If some, hackers get very easy to the system of the company, change numbers and bank accounts on all invoices, and money for we can say 1 month of the bills was transferred to the Singapore or any other locations. So this is some kind of difficulties which, in my opinion, Swedish entrepreneurs, they have some experience and they have, we can say, on standby some typical consultants which they can help them. In Poland, still we are trying to get supports from maybe police, maybe from law enforcements, which are good, but they are extremely occupied. They don't have enough time, sometimes sources to solve especially business-related problems. Of course, we are going to the lawyers, but from the perspective of the lawyers, the best is let's go to the court. And we will see what happens. They will promise everything, but sometimes reputation or some confidentiality of the situation is sometimes much more value. So we have to, listen the problem of our client and sometimes find the best solution. But the best solution is not always the cheap solution. Sometimes our reputation, confidentiality is more valuable, and some reputation which we can lose in the face of our clients. So we need to find a solution. Sometimes be quiet and solve the problems in the proper way, which not affect our business, not affect our reputation. And this is what I see that typical, we can say, Swedish entrepreneurs, they know about it. Poland still we are learning that we need to find a good solution and good people which solve the problem. Yeah. Because company need to produce, need to develop the market shares, not only to try to fix crisis. Crisis, it happens, but it should be separated to the typical business scopes.
Yeah. And today, reputation is a lot about your digital footprint as well. So, how important is it with the digital footprint, and how should executives think about that today, especially in an international context?
Now we can say reputation is extremely important because from many years everybody wants to find a good mathematical way of the business. Now is a little difficult. The geopolitical situation, lack of the trust on the world, some sanctions, some compliance requirements show us that reputation is a value, crucial value. After that, there is a money and the profits and some the income. So it's extremely now easy to lose the reputation and also affected to the, we can say, bad players, for example, black PR, deepfakes, or some, companies which are doing, we can say, they want to destroy their reputation. Because there is, I have the feeling that there is extremely brutal environment and behavior between the competition. The business is extremely now focused, especially if we're going for the competition. We don't compete about the, we can say, quality of the product, service, about the prices. Now we can say the competition trying to destroy competitors. And we have extremely a lot of tools. We have extremely a lot of tools to make some kind of digital sabotage, to destroy, we can say, reputation of the company, to put fake news. And we see, of course, the company always trying to defend from this black PR in the mass media and the internet media. But we see that people each other want to destroy. There is a competition between the people also. I hate this guy, I don't like him, and I can put a lot of information. We have extremely a lot of space. And now it's extremely difficult in the internet when we have also a lot of content generated by AI to verify what is true, what is not true. And now will be a challenge for the security and also for the individual skills, for the people which, for example, OSINT and good identification of the information of everybody which are working in the digital world, it will be crucial. Because we can find a lot of good information, bad information. And how we can now verify what is true, what is, we can say, bad game provided by the competition. Which opinion, for example, is true and real, what is only a blame from the competition or a couple guys which want to make sabotage against the company or some kind of product.
So how can you do that practically? How can you do research and open source intelligence? How can you use that to really verify the reputation of your counterpart,
Yes.
partners, etc.?
There is a lot of tools which support. They can verify, we can say, the sources which are covered. Still, there is a lot of, we can say, to do generally in the cybersecurity world, because my feeling is that we as a people, we cannot be as such smart and be prepared to verify everything. So it's extremely important that we can say our governments and people which are working in cybersecurity, they will help to the business and also private people to train them and give them sometimes tips or destroy these bad players which put deep fakes in the, we can say, digital world. But still we have to practice, train, use sometimes tools and build some, in my opinion, some experience that we can verify what is, we can say, the good sources of information, what information is typical, we can say, users. So we need to verify who is behind them. We have to check how is the story of the, we can say, this Facebook owner, and be a little, we can say, and not be naive, especially because it's very easy to take information, but typical, we can say, methodology in which we use in the intelligence people, which are working in the secret service or intelligence, you need to get a verification from the two independent sources of every information. And if you get it, you can predict that maybe this is the truth. So it's better to, you know, always make, we call a cross verification. So get the 5 sources, 2 independent sources which can give you information, and after that you can rely on this information.
Right. So this is all very interesting. So for our viewers, what, if you would summarize some key takeaways, maybe some recommendations, what they can do right away or to improve their resilience or to manage their risks in a better way?
I think, you know, you use the word resilience. In my opinion, this is crucial. We have to build some resilient as a personal people, because there is a lot of, for example, information which you can find. You have some, we can say, you can find also about yourself, but information, there is a lot of people. So resilience is crucial, as we can say, as a people. But also we need to build a resilient environment in our work. So we don't have to be naive anymore. So we see that what is going on we can say, geopolitical level, that the world is going for some kind of brutalization. I have the feeling that I will never be that close to the Polish border will be the war. If you ask me, for example, 10 years ago, I will say, no way, this is impossible. Now we have a serious war. And we don't see when it will be ended. We have many other conflicts around the world, which starts boiling. Venezuela, Iran, Greenland. You know, we completely living in extremely stressful environment. So the resilience will be crucial in our personal life and also in our business life. So we need to, you know, not be naive, start thinking in the, we can say, methodology of the Swedish people and entrepreneurs, that security and safety, there is a crucial thing. So we need to learn a lot and be a little prepared what will happen, and also check everything. As I mentioned previously, make a cross verification, check double, and not be naive and make decision on the first feeling.
Yeah, that sounds like a good way to round things off here. So make sure to check things. We're gonna, of course, share the contact details to you, Bartosz, and to NaviRisk, how to get in contact. Lastly, on a personal note, I know that it's a field where you can work all of your life, all day and all night. But if you have any time to not work, do you have any special hobbies where people can find you?
Yes, first of all, I am husband and father. So this is my challenge and hobby. So when I have a free time, I try to focus on my family. But I have a plenty of hobbies, but not enough time to enjoy. I am fisherman. I have a small farm, and I focus on the deer farm. I am, we can say, I'm owner of the 10, now 12 almost, old tractors, which I am refurbishing. I have a couple Unimogs, I have a couple Mercedes tractor, McCormick International, so they are from the 50, 60 years old, and I love to fix them, and I keep them in the good shape. Generally, I enjoy spending my time in nature. So this is my hobby.
Sounds very good. Sounds very good. Thank you so much for joining us and having this conversation. It was really interesting.
Thank you very much.
I'm looking forward to see at the events of the chambers going forward.
Yes, thank you very much.
So thank you so much for watching this episode. I hope that you found it interesting. Make sure to not miss our previous episodes and the coming episode. And make sure also to subscribe to our YouTube channel of the Swedish-Polish Chamber of Commerce.